sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping.
Sipping, I'm 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 sipping. Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
This is Sipping with Sammie. I am Sipping with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together. And we in here, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in, that's been tapping in with us. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. This is only my second time in 200 episodes saying it, so I'm proud of me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's 1 per 100. I'm doing my thing now. But
Congratulations.
Thank you. Today we have the co-host of the situation in the building with me, Sonny Brick. Sai, what's up?
Yo, I'm in the building.
And today we have a guest. I'm gonna let you do the introduction for us.
I appreciate y'all. Listen, this is my amazing sis, my sister in media. I love her. She's so dope. I'm gonna let her tell her about all the dope things that she's doing. But y'all gotta tune in. Y'all gotta know. I know you see her everywhere because she's everywhere. You're probably never there if you've never seen her. My girl, Revive POC. What's up?
So I appreciate y'all for sure. I've been peeping what you been doing for sure. And then when I seen that y'all came together, I was like, yo, I gotta get on this podcast. And I want to definitely talk about, what it means to be independent media and how y'all thriving. Y'all just celebrated y'all 100 episode. 200 episode. I'm sorry, 200 episode. Oh my God.
Two times.
She's working, right? So just celebrating the 200 episode and, just having that stability and what it means, right now when it can be oversaturated. But as I said, my name is POC. I'm the host of Revive Radio and Revive Media. I'm also the publisher of Revive Local Paper. So we do a lot of different things when it comes to hyperlocal and local media right now in the city of Philadelphia.
And that's a big deal. Like she said, Revive is everywhere. Like we in the city and we move around and somebody's going to be there to represent each and every one of us if you somewhere. And Revive is one of those entities for sure.
Thank you.
So salute to you for what you doing in the, like you said, it seems saturated, but that's a perspective thing too, right?
Talk to me.
That's a perspective thing because that's based on quality. That's based on
That's
talent.
exactly what I was going to say.
That's based on commitment.
Because I don't think it's saturated I don't think it's saturated with substance. Mm-hmm. I think it might be saturated in just regards of bodies.
Voices.
Exactly. But in regards to like real things that you really want to know and discuss and see, like you cover or we cover and I cover, I don't think it's really oversaturation. I think we need more. Mm-hmm. We need more.
But it's like when you have to make something that is 30 to 60 seconds, it's going to be oversaturated. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have to keep putting something out to get the full message out. You're going to keep trying to drop tidbits, or you're going to be trying to drop trailers or, things to lead up to the bigger discussion. And I think that can confuse the message along the way, because the more people repost it, the more people want to talk about it in their language of how they want to dilute it and things of that nature. So I was kind of going off that as far as oversaturation of opinions.
Okay, got you.
Well,
but I also agree with platforms too. Definitely bodies. It's bodies in the way for sure.
There's a lot of bodies. But when you say as far as the responses and the many ways that it goes, if you're purposeful with what you're putting out there, then your intention or the end result is always going to be those things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're going to have a bunch of voices, a bunch of opinions, and sometimes the message might get confused. But if it's being brought up more and talked about more and dissected more, is it being lost?
Yeah.
Completely?
Yeah, that's like back in the day we played the telephone game. You know what I mean? I tell you, you tell me. By the time we get to the sixth person, that thing was screwed up, misconstrued.
Because I'm thinking of like, you have people that's professionals to talk about mental health, right?
Yeah. And
then you have people like, for instance, a Charlemagne that has done a lot of work on, I guess, his own mental health. So he speaks of it from his
advocacy,
his space and where he's at, somewhere in the middle. Then I'm watching a group of gentlemen, all from the streets, all really gang members and all that from the West Coast, and they was talking about depression and mental health and why each other should seek therapy. And mind you, the conversation's not happening on the same level. There's a lot of nonsense and jokes in between. Probably some inappropriate jokes in between a conversation about such a topic. But it's trickled down there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's amazing to me because 10 years ago, it wasn't a barbershop or a basketball court where this was going on, because I was at them.
Yeah.
I was in the bars. I was in these spots where people was being vulnerable, not vulnerable enough to say I'm gonna get help. Mm-hmm. And help or help didn't mean professional, people with degrees in the
But
in the
Sammie,
science.
people always talking, man. Like that's another thing that bothers me too when it comes to these situations. I feel
Mhm.
like people always talking, you know. So like,
That's a
let's
fact.
just say if those gentlemen in the barbershop, I appreciate the conversation, but if they just having a conversation, but only one of them out of 15 of them actually goes to the doctor that month,
Well-
you know, what do we actually get out of that conversation? But I appreciate it being had, but it's time
It
for us to
wasn't-
apply some of these things.
You're right. It wasn't in a barbershop because I don't want to confuse nobody. It was on a platform that has a couple million subscribers, which makes millions of younger men that might have looked at it as some sucker shit think about it and consider it and have those conversations on their level is all I was saying.
Okay.
But I completely agree with the fact that it's like when you're dealing with things in internet age,
I
it's
like how you put
too
that.
internet age because it's not social media. It's not one or two things. It's everything. It is hard to go through the cornfield and figure out, you know what I mean, which route to take. It is. I just never want to.
It can be hard. It's not hard. It can be.
It can be difficult. Well, I
'Cause
mean,
it's not hard for everybody.
exactly. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I couldn't find a way. That's why I said it so slow. I didn't want to minimalize
No, I get
anybody
you.
in saying it. But what I'm saying is, for a lot of people, it's really like, for most people, if they hear something that sounds like what they want to hear, then that's the truth.
Right. I feel like everything they were talking about is like a Google search, right?
Yeah.
Because with every Google search, like you get out of it what you want to get. Everybody look at the credibility of the sites that they're getting info from. Do they go straight to the things that they want to hear and they're like, this is what I want to hear, so this is the truth.
This is it.
So I feel like with everything they were kind of discussing, and I've been thinking this the whole time, and I was just letting y'all go, and the whole time my whole
seeing your
comment
face.
was, it's like a Google search, right? Because you get out of it what you want to get out of it,
And
right?
I'm somebody that used to be horrible at the sharing of stuff. Like, remember on Facebook, you could first share articles? I was just sharing headlines. And
Yeah, you
motherfuckers
was.
was like, did you read this? Do you know where this came from? And I was like guilty of that. You know what I mean? And I've learned since, but I was one of them.
Oh, for sure. That was
I was
me.
one of them.
Yeah, for sure. But
That's why I
can
didn't
say
want to
that was me on
minimize
Twitter.
nobody, because like we've been there.
And I can say that was me on Twitter before I knew what fact checking and source checking was all about, for sure. As a journalist, before I really took that responsibility on. It
Oh,
was a
she
big
just
difference.
hit my soul.
What you mean?
But I think
love
that's what changed me too. I had a different responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. So no, because and I just spoke about this at our 200th, and I speak about it all the time. Because I grew up in journalism, you know, my dad was editor, his dad, and his dad. I knew, like, for me, it's so important to be a fact checker and not even be a fact, like, you can't even, like, yes, to be a fact checker, and you can't put anything out there that you don't know yourself to be truth and you can't validate. So even when you're talking about the stories that you were publishing, and then you went further to say, yeah, about fact checking, like, that is so near and dear to me, because in this age, like, so many people can just, they have so many platforms that they can spread a message and not understand the value or the power that their words have. You know
And
what I
that
mean?
goes back to his word, intentional. You know what I mean?
Intentional.
Like, for example, something like the Shade Room, they share gossip, they share news, they share politics, they share information, but sometimes all of it needs to be checked. You know, you can't go
Right.
directly off what the Shade Room is
The
talking
shade room
about.
gets corrected daily.
it's credibility.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But people go directly for their news and information there. You feel me? So it's like a toss up, and that's another reason why I wanted to have this conversation, because like in those spaces, right? You start off as someone who's just interested in news and information, and then you do the things that we talked about as far as just reposting and retweet, and then it becomes a hobby, and next you know it becomes a passion into a career.
Yeah, because
right?
you start off trying to share what you can.
Exactly. So now you want to turn this into a business idea, and we want to be taken seriously as grassroots media. We want to be taken seriously as, you know, independent, non-traditional news outlets.
Absolutely.
And that's where the conversation for me comes, because it's like, how can we get them to understand that even though we're not doing it in a traditional fashion, we're doing it in a non-traditional fashion, but it's working, you know, and it's working for our listeners and our supporters. But how can we gain revenue and sustainability and, you know, some residual income off of it at the same time? You know,
Right.
Roger Ailes can't be the only one to do it. You know,
Yeah.
Kathy Hughes can't be the only one to do it. Like, we want to do it too,
I
but
was
we want to do
I
it
get that
differently.
point, yeah.
You feel me? Like, we don't necessarily want to take out the loans and be in debt to society as far as like the big banks. So it's like, how can we survive and strive as grassroots media outlets, especially like in the city of Philadelphia, when they pay attention to the arts, but they don't mention media and news and information as far as what we're doing in those conversations when they talk about the arts.
As far as the first piece of what you said. About,
Shout out to Sammie and them. You know, SippinwitSammie, they just shouted me out with a glass of wine, and it tastes really good. Appreciate you. Thank
whatever
you.
a guest needs. But
Yes.
as far as the first piece of that, what I'm realizing that I got away from and that society needs to probably tap into the mentality of is, when I was young and we was going to Sunday school, we used to question the Bible a lot. And my Sunday school teacher said you're supposed to question. You're supposed to ask questions. If somebody tells you something that God said, ask them the verse, chapter. You know what I mean? Go look it up for yourself. The same thing that they told you in school about citing your sources and things like that. Like, once you get the information, it's your job to do due diligence if it's something that you care enough to put out to other people. You know what I mean? And I think we got away from that. And I think that it's a simple mentality. We was taught that.
Who got away from it, though?
Society. In general, I think that
the people that make the dollars or the people that give the dollars.
I think the people that make the dollars want you to get away from it. I think the people that give the dollars, it's easier for them because they're overwhelmed.
Okay.
They're overwhelmed. The average person in society is juggling way too many things, and it's $400 emergency away from being broke. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot.
$250 the way eggs cost right
like
now.
the average American citizen doesn't have time, energy, or the know-how to care about politics.
That's why they want to give it in 30 seconds. That's
You
why
see
they want
what
to
I'm
give it
saying?
in a reel
So
with pictures and slides versus actually sitting down and listening to a full
But if you get the money
broadcast.
from it, that's what you work off of. You see what I'm saying? If you're benefiting from it, if you are the people that control the, because the same people that control the short form media control the long form media on the higher levels, right? So I'm gonna still give you an hour show, but I'm gonna make sure these 30 seconds, these 5 minutes, these whatever fit exactly what I need you to get from it, which is why all the media became biased.
But now, Sammie,
They
we
all
just
picked the
did
team.
so much work. You know how much editing it takes to cut an hour show down into 30 seconds, into 5 minutes, into 15 minutes, even into 2 minutes, a 90-second short or on YouTube, or a 90-second reel on Instagram.
Shout out to Fine Productions.
Yeah, shout out to you for sure. But like, do you know how much time that is?
Yes.
Do you know how much like time and money that is not being made because you're spending so much time?
But that's the thing.
I need y'all to take us serious. You're
But
not
this is-
about to keep getting all these 5, 2, 30, 90, and they don't think you about to. Yeah.
No, and that's my point. I'm not.
I'm just saying,
I'm not
like,
referring to
I
us
get upset
because on
sometimes.
our level we have to be creative to get any kind of revenue. You see, I got my name on everything I could think to put my name
I
on
appreciate
to
that.
sell
Like,
it.
even,
You know what I'm saying?
Even the coaster guys.
But at the same time, when I'm talking about the people that's getting the money from it, they got the people they got 10 people that edit their clips.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They and 5 of them don't get paid. And it's stuff like that we don't benefit from. So we have to be creative. Now, the solution to that part, I wasn't addressed. That's why I said I was going to address the first part about doing the research, because we're still working on the second part, all of us.
I think it's also changed so much so with people's attention span. Like, it's ridiculous that you have to even conform to getting this information in such a short time span. Like, you know, we have a platform that we typically have an hour show, and we're able to take our time and get our point across. Shout out to Fine Productions and the editing that she does do, but I'm thankful that she doesn't have to put it all in 30 to 60 seconds, right?
We need an intern.
But for real, like, I think that these days our attention spans are less and shorter. That is demanding us to put our, you know, to.
I don't think it's us. I think it's our audience and our supporters.
I think
and
it's
I don't
in general.
blame them.
I think it's just general everything.
If it was us, we wouldn't be able to talk here for a whole hour. Like, we can go because we have it in us.
I just think it's even the way that we live from day to day with having cell phones that have instant gratification.
Okay.
So everything that you need, people are just so used to now getting everything that they need in 30 to 60 seconds. People are. It appears to me that not as many people are taking the time to actually sit down. And like I listen to my podcast while I'm moving around. I'm never really sitting down able to watch a podcast. You know what I mean? Because like you said, we got too many other things going on. We don't have the time and opportunity to do it.
Your morning routine gets cut down from having enough time to read half or the whole newspaper to the 15 to an hour that you can get off of swiping down your news feed or your timeline.
And
Wawa Coffee is lit
to
right
hear
now
that, you know
because
what I
people
mean?
ain't making it at home no more. You know what I mean? Like,
and to hear that, it cringes me a little bit. You
It's
know,
scary.
just because I have passion behind it. You know, and as a publisher of a newspaper, a tangible newspaper, you know, like, I want you to pick it up and flip through all 27 pages.
But
Like, you don't have to read all 27, but I definitely want you to scan through because we offer so much information in there, creativity. There's
But
so
I think
much
that
storytelling going on.
You're like the difference between YouTube watch time. even though the people tuning into YouTube, the majority might be there for the ratchet. The people that care about substance are going to watch your whole show.
Right.
They're going
That's
to
real.
read your whole thing.
That's real.
Correct.
You
That's
see what I'm
real.
saying? So you have a target audience, not even a niche audience, because we don't want to minimalize how many people want to hear about positive, dope things and see creative things.
Can I ask you
and
a
act
question
like the
about that?
majority is the only people.
Can I ask you a question about target audience?
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I'm gonna ask you the same question. As newsmakers, you know what I mean. How did you find your target audience? Like, how did you say, "Oh, this is my demographic"? Like, how did you just put that out there?
For me, it was kind of like not a formal survey, but from the information from the people who I do business with, from their audiences, from the people that I interact with, just from my surveying of my readership. It's kind of how I tailored my audience.
Okay.
But I also have a wide range of information that I like to. Although I have a tailored audience, I like to be able to generate information for people from 8 to 88. You know what I mean? Like, I do have my age and my I guess my demographics, but I want to be overranging. I want to be overarching.
Okay.
Absolutely. There's always going to be a little overflow either way anyway,
Yeah.
but the majority is going to stick somewhere.
What about
Yeah.
you? How did you tailor yours?
I kind of knew that my audience would be basically a lot like me because my brand is my lifestyle.
Okay.
So sipping with Sammie
that's
and all
what's up.
that is even when it comes to the music, it's the same energy. So it's like whatever facet you know me from, if you see me on the other side, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Whoever likes that is going to like that. It might not be everybody, but I do my due diligence to try to provide quality and try to be honest with people and give real opinions and real information enough that whoever wants to grasp it can get it. I try to get enough guests and enough range. I've had older people on here. I'm about to get somebody way older very soon that has a lot of knowledge about the industry because I want to touch on those demographics too. But I would just want to talk to dope people. I interviewed Chris Mack's son when he was 5. We talked about Baby Shark and his Shark t-shirt, and it was a great interview. Like, I want to talk to dope people, but who picks it up, I figure, will always be people that kind of lived or looked or assimilated to my kind of lifestyle.
So when it comes down to even like creating or tailoring a demographic to, you know, your content and the things that you want to publicate and push out, right? It's like, how do you now create a funnel of financial stability behind that? Like, how do you get people to sponsor and pour into the streaming services that you provide?
Once you identify your audience, you have a better chance of identifying who is worth it to approach about sponsorship, for one. Just like, Sipping with Sammie. So, of course, we have a wine sponsor. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
We have a situation where we deliver who does a lot of interesting types of deliveries, which is right up our alley. It's just different kind of brands that actually fit the persona of what we do. But those are like layups. You know what I mean? And then there's like other things outside the box that you have to think of. But I think once you realize, and it's a lot of SEO work as far as with the YouTube, but once you realize who's tuning in and what their interests are, because when you do the SEO thing, they'll tell you what kind of audience, like the Drink Champs audience watching Sipping with Sammie, or the such and such. It might be the sneaker audience, might not even dig it. Might be worth it to put my foot on the table a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. Like,
So for me, it's like a lot of my advertisers. I look at them for sponsorship, and sometimes people who I might write an article about. Of course, the platform is all positive information. So it's, for me, I like to, I guess, combat it with that, or I guess tailor it with that. That we're giving information about your organization. Are you willing to sponsor or advertise with us? And a lot of times that's how I get it. So it's easy to do hand in hand with that.
I feel like it's hard, or it's
and not easy to get it, but easy to, like I said, to marry them hand in hand. That we're giving information, we're writing about you. Would you like to
exactly?
Support
And
us?
that's
we're
how
the type of platform that you usually don't have access to locally.
Correct.
What you mean by that?
A positive platform from
Okay.
hers,
Yeah, sure.
specifically.
Because I feel like sometimes it's hard, or a lot of pushback is given because, like you said, when you think about other podcasts like Drink Champs or whatever, when the first thing they ask you is how many followers you have. You know, like what is your Instagram subscribers, like what is all of these things. And I don't think that necessarily sums up what the totality of what we can do as far as grassroots media outlets. And I feel like because we don't have the hundreds of thousands of likes or the hundreds of thousands followers or subscribers, it's like, yeah, we can't put anything behind you until you get these numbers. I'm like, I'm not a rapper, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to make the hottest mixtape or the hottest, you know, album in the city right now. Like, I don't understand why when it comes down to just media, they want us there, they want us to be there, they want the cameras, they want the microphones, but they don't necessarily want to put the revenue or the money into making sure that we can even do what they're even asking for. Then they got the nerve to ask for a deadline.
Two things.
Like, come on now.
1,000 no's will lead you to the one yes that you need.
Oh yeah, agreed.
It's just a general thing.
Agreed.
But when it comes to us, we also have to do due diligence, because every once in a while there's these programs, these funds, these things that the government does where a certain amount of this mound of money is supposed to go to black media. And we could put our hands on it if we could catch it when it's available.
If we do the work.
Sometimes we got to do the due diligence to see when those things come down the pike. And a lot of the time now, I'm not making excuses because, like I said, 1,000 no's for one yes. A lot of times they don't allocate those funds the right way. But sometimes you'll see somebody on a certain platform or grow in a certain way that you didn't expect to, and they benefited. They got their little $5,000. You know what I'm saying? It kept it moving.
But
I want to say also, it's other organizations. I think another way to combat it would be like it's organizations like the NNPA, that's like the National Newspaper Publisher Associations, or the NNA, the National Newspaper Association. Like even if you write a piece, or now, I mean, you can submit another piece, a visual piece, but even getting submitting pieces and getting recognition in other ways more than just by likes and subscribers, I think that's another way to combat that conversation, because you're shown with substance and shown with things that you've done as well.
Yeah, articles and write-ups mean a lot too.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on what you were saying, right, like for most black-owned businesses in general that are like startups and young companies, a lot of them, their books are not correct. Absolutely. You know, their P&L statements are not aligned. You know, they don't have the proper business portfolio.
Hit up K at Font Philly, PHANT PHILLY on Instagram. It might not be as bad as you think. Go ahead.
And I'm not just trying to box black and brown businesses. I think a lot of young businesses in general don't have that, and it's because we don't have the education or the knowledge behind it to be able to do so. So when these grant opportunities come out, you know, we don't have the capabilities of being able to, well, not gonna say the capabilities, we don't have the necessities that we would need to be able to apply for it. Yeah, to apply for it.
Resources,
That was something I used to do for that. So
and everybody charging for help now. Like,
well,
I can't even say, yo,
free, so
help me. And they're like, I need
Font
$20 an hour.
Productions does it about as cheap as you can get it.
So I used to do it for free with an organization called Operation Hope, when I would go into schools and I would mentor. You might remember when I used to go into schools and mentor kids from, I think the earliest might have been like 1st or 2nd grade all the way to high school students about, and I don't even like, it was financial literacy, but I don't like the term financial literacy. I rather financial empowerment. Yeah. But I think if that was more focused on in grade school, people would be able to, you know, to be better adults in regards to financing.
Better
and
adults.
No, I'm saying in regards to financing.
No, I get it. I like what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, you know, you got to be an adult, but if you don't know how to, you can't do it. In regards to budgeting and saving, and
I need to be a better adult for sure.
And these financial things could be taught at any level, yo.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the sad part. They could be
have
fun.
The books. I was just actually looking at. I was about this. I'm literally teaching my kids now, but we had them from elementary school to high school. And I just think it's important to learn those lessons, even if it's saving. You know, when you have your chores, you know, you want to save for a game that you want to get. You know, just things like that. Your budget. How much money? If you earn this, how much money are you going to save? How much money are you going to spend?
And parents, do it on your level. Take the kids to the bank with you. Sit them down and
I take my kids to the bank with me, and they open their accounts, and now they know whenever we go, or if we do digital transfers, like they know how to do that too. Because let's be real, like By the time my kids is our age, I don't even know if they're gonna be going to banks
at all.
real.
But they know how to do it now. But they do know how to
real.
do it. It's so many things that I expose them to. Like I still got a Polaroid that we taking pictures with. I ain't even gonna hold you. I can't wait to go get those.
But
pictures.
it's an understanding that they can gain at any level. Like I said, before, it was an NFL player that said when he goes and speaks to his accountant and they talking about money, he tells his accountant and his lawyers to talk to the 5-year-old and the 7-year-old about their money. And explain it to them on their level so that they can understand it. Because if you can't even explain it to me on a layman's level, then I'm not going to be caught up on it. Now explain their money to them. So every month or every 6 months or whatever, when they go in there, they go with them.
Right.
And they get they same meeting that he get.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And we're not operating on that level, but you sitting in these offices at these banks, you sitting at these desks, explain to them what just went on. And if you have something for them, tell them to explain to them what that means so that it's not just coming from you.
Yeah, but I definitely think it should be a part of the curriculum.
Yeah, it should.
I definitely think it should be a part
I
of the
didn't
curriculum.
have business class until I got the Roman, and I transferred into Roman for the 10th grade. I think was the first time. Maybe 11th was the first time I had the business class. I loved that fucking class, yo.
I don't think I had a business class until college, and that was because I was a business major.
Me too. I was a marketing major.
I was me too. I was accountant, but yeah.
And you see, we about our business.
Right.
For sure.
That's funny that we all did that though. But I want to get back because we went off on a tangent, and a lot of these things are things that are long form conversations, probably even panel conversations.
Yeah.
That we because alliances could figure a lot of these things out too.
I was just on a panel on Sunday, and we were talking about collaboration. What's your thoughts on collaboration?
That's what I was just speaking to. I think the alliances working together, figuring out how to do things. Well, we're working towards something right now in that vein, but we're working towards it. Is all I can really say right now. But I'm all for it because I see how it works for everybody else. I understand what we're supposed to be doing without having to do what everybody else does. There's certain things that you should do.
No doubt.
I think it's necessary as a community.
Right.
Not only like a child, but it's like it takes a village, right? I think it's so necessary to grow because not one person can do it all. Not one person knows it all. And there's so many other ways that we can complement each other and build and grow and develop our own communities that are financially set and stable and thriving. And I think that collaborations are necessary.
And I mean, like, shout out to Suzanne Christine. She
Shout
just
out to that, right?
she just started a music school. Sarita has programs with the children.
Shout out to Sarita.
Frankie.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
Frankie has
Shout out to Frankie
situations.
Storm.
Frankie Storm, and it's like we can help them, and they need our help for real, in certain aspects. Certain things they don't need us for, but they don't do this. You know what I'm saying? And this is what the kids are interested in. You see it on Abbott. They doing podcasts. Like, it's a thing. These streamers are 12 years old. These gamers are 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like, and they're making money doing it. So
Exactly.
all they, their friends want direction into how to do that. So I think coming together is a big thing.
Can I just say something though? Like, and I'm saying it with a lot of love, but I'm also saying it with a lot of passion. It's definitely collaboration over competition, period, all day.
Sure.
No need to explain that, right?
No.
At the same time, collaboration don't mean 60-40, 70-30. If we come to the table, bring the same half that I'm bringing. You feel me? So I feel like when it comes down to these collaborations, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for who you're partnering with, and it does not
That's
just simply
real.
means because you have an idea or a proposition that I'm going to work with you. If it doesn't fit me right now, I need you to stabilize your emotions and understand that I'm not attacking you. I'm not coming against you. I don't have any defense mechanism raised or lowered because you having this conversation with me. It just means I don't feel like it fits for me right now. But in 2 years we can work together. So don't feel like because I don't work with you right now, that means we can't never collaborate. I need you to stabilize your emotions when it comes to this collaboration, and also understand that unity and collaboration don't mean uniformity. You feel me? So just because we working together don't mean we gotta do the same thing. Don't mean you gotta come to the table saying
we should likely not be doing the same thing.
You feel me? Exactly. So it don't mean because I got a mic in my hand, you gotta have a mic in your hand. Because you got a camera, I got a camera. No, it means you need to come with your authenticity and whatever you do and bring that to the table 50-50 so we can actually you make these collaborations work? Because a lot of collaborations fall short in our communities because people are not bringing to the table what they said they were going to bring. So now we got people arguing. We got people being grown adults on social media and on the internets, like you said, talking this and talking that and ruining what it means to be a community and coming together because they didn't understand what it meant to come together in the first place.
But that's
So
business.
yeah, like
That's business. I think that
collaborations
people
be
have,
a lot.
man,
with,
what people
with
be
the
in these
accessibility,
collaborations.
with the accessibility or
Cannot
the
be
ease
trendy.
or the ease that people
Can't
have
be trendy.
nowadays to create their own businesses or what they consider businesses, they don't understand what it takes to
Ideas.
be in business because like the bullshit comes with the business. When somebody does some bullshit at your
It's
corner
gonna
store,
stink for a long
you don't
time.
put up a poster and make a billboard about it. You deal with it. If somebody steals, you might put their picture up, but you put that reasonably wherever the fuck. It's not for everybody in the world because that's too much energy taken away from what you're supposed to be building. So I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Right.
Why do you think people do that though? Do you
Because
think they
they're-
want to be seen
Yeah,
or they want to be?
they're attention seeking.
But so is it? Because I think recognition and being exploited are two different things.
People
like,
exploit
do people
themselves
want
and their
to-
children out every day.
But
now.
I'm saying, do they want to be? Do they want the recognition, or do they want to be do they want to exploit so they can get seen? Like, what is it?
They
like,
want attention. It's like I grew up and it was this young boy that used to walk to the playground every summer, every day in the summer, walk up to the biggest group of kids and either get jumped or chased out the playground. He would get beat up all the way home, and 2 hours later he would walk right back to the playground and do it again.
Why?
Like the attention. I know another guy that started an argument one time on the block.
Oh.
His argument
That's
was
he like to be exploited right there.
his argument was
I
he's
was like,
exploiting
whoa.
himself.
Yeah.
His my other homie, his argument, and my mom, this is what made me stop hanging with him. My mom, like some people just like to argue, but his argument was if you saw a Pepsi hoodie and a Polo hoodie side by side and they was the same price, which one would you get?
A Pepsi hoodie and a Polo hoodie.
Yes.
Which one would I personally get?
At the time when he was talking, we was like 15, so of course all of us said Polo,
Yeah.
right? And to this day I'm gonna say Polo because I like Polo, but
I would have
he
said Polo
was
too.
he was trying to explain a point that somebody whatever, but it became an argument based on Pepsi versus Polo, and it's like, what are we doing, yo? But this is what he wanted to debate. This is what people do on social media. They put themselves out there to get beat up over the biggest nonsense,
want,
and then people correct them and tell them about it, and then they say, you don't know my life, this ain't my real life, and things like that, and do it again. And again and again and again.
But how can I be respected though? Like, it's
But
like,
no, you're
what
not
comes
looking
out
for
of it?
respect if you're looking for attention. If you already
Ah,
get attention,
okay.
you're worried
Correct.
about respect.
I like that. I like that.
Seriously,
I
it's
that
just
about
like people with nothing to lose. The more you got to lose, the less you willing to
Unless you care.
I like that.
throw shit away.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think not everybody, but I think these days it's like everybody's attention seeking. I think people don't even think about
Purpose.
that's what to say the core of anything. You know, it's all about those 15 seconds of fame and the sensationalization. Thank you.
But I mean, you have millions of people that are competing to go viral for looking crazy.
National media started it.
But
We'll put
listen,
Donald Trump on
Going
there.
viral for looking crazy. The most insecure people in the world that would never want you to see them look
Not
some
even
type
that.
of
I
way.
just think
When-
that attention is just ridiculous. Like I saw a guy the other day talk about how to go viral, like for finding other people's like crazy videos and like posting
Emulating
other
them.
people's stuff.
Mhm.
And it's just like, dude, it's not that deep. Like it's really not that deep for me to like try to find fame to find through somebody
Well, see, the
else.
thing
Yeah.
is, people understand.
Where is
People,
it?
a lot of people, some people.
Genuine, like,
Exactly.
I'm trying to find a way to say it. Some of those people do just want attention. Other people just understand the business. It's just like if I run up my page to 2 million followers, I can sell it to whoever to do whatever with. Once I get those many eyes on my platform, then my platform can be whatever it want. But the check don't come till I get the
I get
eyes.
you, but I'm still about substance and a message. So if I'm
Yeah.
going to run it up, it's going to be
Yeah,
about something that makes sense.
That would be corny though.
But that's corny to you. That's corny to us. That's not corny to somebody that's already corny. What are they maintaining?
That's the
Because
realest
look,
ever.
the
Who
mentality.
raised these
Nine
They're
times-
maintaining corndom.
Exactly, and 9 times out of 10 though,
Corny.
because look what I'll give you an example. Academics, He got an argument with somebody, and the first thing he said was, if I wasn't doing this, I would be in medical school, which means I would still be making $325,000 a year, something like that. Like, he still don't understand that money don't mean that you're not corny.
Corned him.
Right? He don't care about none of that. He don't care about nobody. He's justifying it all by money. Everything that he says is justified by money. And that's all that matters if you are the type of person that grew up with the mentality, just wait till I get this BMW. I'm going to shit on all of them.
Do y'all ever think the people that we wonder, like, what do they actually do actually get on sometimes? Like, what do you do? And they be, like, on. Like,
it's a lot of people. Amber Rose said we're not supposed to question them, but...
Really?
Yeah, she cussed out Murder Mook on Drink Champs for that shit.
Why can't we, like, it's like, what do you do? No, but really, what do you do?
But you know what? You know what?
Like having an online boutique.
Right.
But what do you do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Some people just are out there and exposure is connected to them. And then once again, even on a, you know, like, not even on a mainstream level. It can be on a hyper local level, on a local level,
Gilly's a good example
level,
of that.
Just like, what do you do?
Gilly's a good example of that. Gilly has literally been relevant all of this time because of his personality. And I can't necessarily knock that.
Well, he was a rapper.
I was just thinking about Gilly for a whole nother way when he said whoever he was coming back at when he said you the corny, like Rick Ross. Yeah. When he was talking about you was a corny nigga with money, don't mean you ain't corny. So that's the whole thing I was just thinking about.
But like even like
he was a rapper. Did that
when
count?
Gilly went looking for Cassidy, Ving Rhames saw that and signed him to an 8-movie deal off of his personality in the streets, being a wild dude. You know what I'm saying? Then $1 million worth of game, this big empire that they got with that, comes from Gilly going online and being Gilly every day. Wallow being Wallow every day. You know what I mean?
But I can categorize, and the only reason I would say I can categorize that is because they're actually doing something. Like, I feel like Gilly is.
There's a lot of people that don't think they did anything before the podcast.
But I feel like Gilly gave motivation. He was like, you know, with the $1 million worth of game, it actually was like
everybody thinks they're doing it.
But it was an alternative way of giving motivational speeches.
I think it was brilliant. I think
because if that's the case,
the whole
then,
thing
like,
was. I think Wallow's side was brilliant too.
So then, like, have you ever heard of like a Nehemiah Davis or anything like that? Like, that's the same thing. It's just an alternative way of doing motivational speaking.
I'm glad you said Nehemiah too.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah, so
it's a great example.
Yeah, so I get what you mean as far as like what do you do, but it's just instead of going up there in a suit and a tie and saying, "Hey, I'm going to speak to you like this," they just put it on social media and people. I like it based on.
Look at the Fire Festival. Impression is everything.
You're wild.
Look at the Fire Festival. The motherfucker said we made the thing orange because we knew it would make you stop scrolling. Then we put models and stuff there because we knew you would want to party with them. Right. And then and none of this shit existed.
No.
You're wild.
I'm just saying.
That's wild.
And he got another thing coming. Right. He back popping.
Now that is wild. That's the wildest shit ever.
He right back like, he didn't went nowhere.
That shit
he did 6 months.
Right?
No, not the boy, the white boy. The
one who actually
the one
did
with
it.
the credit card. Yeah,
okay, the one who actually did it. Okay.
I forget homie name. I really don't even want to say it though. But
man.
I mean, the game has changed, and like in order to operate in it, you have to still maintain what you think is cool, what you think is corny, you know, your morals and whatever. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you kind of got to understand or recognize what they're doing too, and find a way to do it your way with your integrity.
Gotta be yourself.
You have to be.
Gotta be yourself.
Because once you compromise a platform like yours, that's crazy.
Big facts.
You see what I'm saying? Or yours, that's crazy.
That's what I was about to say too. So I think you have to be genuine with anything that you do. You have to be genuine, consistent. But I think that we have to bring, like, we're in a day where we have the ability to make our own table, right? And to showcase ourselves. So I think that we need to take advantage of that. I think that we need to take advantage of that. I think that we're in the best place and space ever as entrepreneurs, as media,
it's a balance though, because we want to be respected in a way not just to where you give us claps, round of applause, and hugs. We need financial stability as well. So respect comes with what Lil Kim say: money, power, and respect. You feel me? So first you get the dollars, then you get the respect, and then comes the power. You feel me? So if we don't have the dollars and people are not putting and funneling, you know, that kind of stability as far as financial into us, like it's going to be hard for us to continue to thrive. Like even like what you just said for the 200th anniversary, you wanted the only thing you wanted to do was break even. You feel me? Like, but you had to front
for the 200th,
everything.
I didn't care if I broke even, but to keep doing that consistently at that level, I would have to at least break even.
But I'm saying, like,
most of the time at least.
For you to be 200 episodes and have the amount of supporters and listeners that you have, technically you shouldn't have came out of your pocket, and if you did, it should have been only like 10 to 15%. You know what I mean? Because you wanted to show yourself some love. You feel me? But like, it should have been poured at this point in time, like 200 episodes, and that's years, that's time. Like, people is watching, and I'm not necessarily saying like who is supposed to give the money, but I feel like there's a bunch of money out there for art. There should be a bunch of money that should include the conversation of grassroots media production companies and and commentators and grassroots.
The money is actually out there. You just have to know like who and how to get there.
That's what I'm saying. But because we don't have it up front,
if the money wanted to get to you, how would they do so? Tell them now. Tell them now why they listening.
Me personally, my website is reviveisalive.com. As soon as you get to the website, that donation tab is going to pop right up at you. Or you can click the tab that says services, and everything that we have is allocated right there for you. Or you can go specifically to, I'm always going to kick you to my website because that's what I own. So yeah, if you go to reviveisalive.com, everything is on there, from services to donations to everything that we do as far as workshops, curriculums, all that good stuff. And if you want to sponsor or advertise, it's an advertising link up there as well, where you can click and sponsor and send some advertisement.
Yeah, so I'm going to say just traditionally, it's always been so, unfortunately, as writers and journalists, it hasn't been as lucrative, but it's always been about the advertisements. So it's rooms that you need, should probably be going into to get these sponsorships and these advertisements, which would supplement, and complement the actual organization and the publication. That's where it always comes from. I know that's in my experience where I've always gotten the most money from. Sponsorships and advertisements.
Even if you're a for-profit, not a non-profit.
I'm a for-profit. My dad was a for-profit. My whole family line always been for-profit. We don't play that shit. We don't play that. So it's all about that. So it's just all about, just making sure the information, there's not a lot of people who display the information that you and I do. They want to hear about us. You've been very consistent. So absolutely. I know, and we'll talk, and it's other things, like I said, even just becoming a part of your the Chamber of Commerce. It can be the African American Chamber of Commerce or your city's Chamber of Commerce. But you got to start getting into these rooms, because these are where these people who spend these dollars are. So that's just one place, you know what I mean? But that's how you start getting it. They're not going to pay you just because you write. We would love it. They ain't doing it.
Love it.
And I ain't going to lie. Talking to you is way different than an email from you.
Agree.
Especially you, because you represent yourself well. You're well spoken. You're not somebody that needs time to.
And I'm not saying they're not doing it because they making money, but what I'm just saying is, as an organization, as a publication, as a publication, there's so many ways that we can get these resources. We just have to get into the right rooms, and half of the rooms are, like I said, in the rooms where these people that spend these and sign these checks are and spend this money is. So,
but we want the same amount, like if I'm in a room,
have money allocated for us. Like,
I need the same amount. So like if someone is getting, so if a national publication is getting 20,000, this local grassroots needs 20,000.
Yeah,
too.
it's not. I'm telling you, it's out there. I'm telling you, it's out
I'm
there.
agreeing with you. I'm speaking on behalf of just a space of, I guess what I would say, frustration, and I'm admit to that, because fighting on behalf of just local grassroots media publications is a battle for sure. It's a lot of pushback in these spaces, and it really only comes from certain outlets. You know what I mean? Like, we have it comes in a space of like being a student or being a cohort. It's not coming, or being a cohort member. It's not necessarily coming like, hey, we want to give you some general allocation funds where you can just have this 10,000 and this can help to expand X, Y, and Z. You gotta fill out a grant application, and it's specifically for X, Y, and Z. You got to tailor the grant to this, and you got to spend the money on this, versus just saying, hey, let me give this grassroots organization 10 stacks and let them build. You feel me?
And there's money out there for that too.
Yeah, I'm about to say that just depends on where you're getting it from.
Yeah.
Because everything is just like scholarships. Sometimes you get a scholarship for being left-handed. Sometimes you got to have a 4.2.
I'm left-handed, by the way.
Me too.
We are all of us left-handed panel.
You gotta do that
Let's
one.
go.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to
That's
maintain a
love.
4.2 GPA
That's
to get
love.
scholarship.
Look, that's why we. That's why I always.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Got
these
some yak in
lefties.
mine.
Yes, that's
Look
crazy.
at that.
You
I
already
wonder if this is the first all left-handed piano.
I always felt special by being left-handed. Did you ever feel special? You know what I mean? Like, I always felt like, because I was different, or because I was, not necessarily doing what everybody else was doing, I was going to find a way to, exactly, do my own thing with it for sure.
I always embraced it because we grew up in a town where people used to try to correct people's left hands.
Yeah.
Or they used to act like it was
I am
wrong
not.
and stuff
Nothing's
like
wrong
that.
with me.
And
Nothing's wrong with me.
I never had that. Like, my parents wasn't on
My
that.
mom was left-handed
My
too.
school wasn't
That's
on
what's
that
up.
or whatever, so I never went through that. But I did get the jokes and hear. But when I got to the basketball age, it was a benefit to be
Beneficial. Same here.
Most of the shooters, or most lefties, are shooters
Yes.
for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And even defending the lefty is crazy because you get so used to defending right.
You automatically go up with your other hand.
I got smacked in my face a lot because they realized at the last second
Right.
they on the wrong side.
Exactly.
But that works too. That's a foul.
Right.
So I always embraced it for the most part.
That's what's up.
It wasn't a big deal. I had bigger problems anyway. I was epileptic and dyslexic and shit. I had shit going on.
Dyslexia. I'm dyslexic as well, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
But that's
like,
why social media frustrates me, because you non-spelling motherfuckers make me read shit 4 times to realize you ain't say nothing. I be thinking I got it wrong. It ain't shit there.
And the crazy part is, to bring it up,
I'm telling you, it's
I kind of
frustrating.
learned what dyslexia was from the Cosby Show.
No, it was a big
because
episode.
of Theo,
Yep, huge episode.
and it's a real thing within our community, within our families. It's not something that's discussed, but for everything's backwards. You know what I mean? And I'm not doing it on purpose.
My parents worked with me. My mom worked hard as fuck with me, and reading out loud and all of that, I got really, really good at it. I probably digressed since then, but I was fine. Like, I got past that. You know what I mean? At a certain point, but it was like, we all learn different any motherfucking way. So we gotta just be patient with these kids, because they'll section you off and you'll be in carpet classes the rest of your life.
Yes. And that goes back to the conversation we was having, as far as we all learn differently anyway. And I think that that's why having voices and different opinions is needed and necessary. But at the same time, making sure that it's not something that's just not with substance. You know what I mean? Just making sure you're putting something behind it.
I need revived backstory, because we ain't got a lot of time, and we've been talking about everything except your platform.
Okay.
We need to know what your platform comes from, what it offers, so forth and so on.
So Revive started in 2017. This month, we actually just celebrated.
Happy anniversary.
Exactly, just started our 6-year anniversary.
Nice.
Yes. Our 6-year anniversary. So we've been grinding, bootstrapping, making sure that we keep Revive alive.
Get down on the ground.
For the past 6 years. So we are a internet radio platform, live streaming platform, also a media production company with an extension of a newspaper. So we've been doing a lot over the past 6 years to really just put out news and information that's for you and about you. Everything we do is a FUBU effect. We truly appreciate the support and the love for the past.
Is hard.
Yeah, really appreciate the love and support over the past 6 years. We cover everything from sports to politics to entertainment. We give a listening ear to community stories, community voices. We make sure that we do anything from lifestyle to entertainment, as far as new music, different artists that are coming out. My goal is to break a new artist. My goal is to make sure that artists in this tri-state area, in the Philadelphia area, are really heard, not
You got
just
that in
listened to,
common,
but
honey.
also heard. And then also just making sure that people understand that, it's okay to not necessarily have the biggest backing or the biggest following, but to still obtain and follow your dreams, and it's a blessing to be here 6 years later. So yeah, that's pretty much
Absolutely, man.
wrapped up in a bow.
Absolutely. Shout out. Yes, congratulations congratulations on that.
Yes.
So I remember when we interviewed Eric Sermon.
Yes.
God.
I have so many
there, too.
interviews with her. Me and her, we've done a lot
That's
of
my
collaboration.
guy.
Yes.
We have.
The Green Eyed Bandit.
Yes.
So we
the
have.
guy.
In South Philly, shout out to Councilman Kiana.
Yeah,
No,
shout out
Jordan
to
here.
Kiana. No, it was
Kiana. Okay.
Yep, it was
Councilman
Kiana.
Kiana Johnson. Yep.
Shout out to Kenyatta.
Dope, dope.
So yeah, we have, like she said, we've done a
I'm a
lot
little
of dope.
envious of that one, but go
We've
ahead.
done a lot of dope interviews together. So this is my sis for real. Like
Yes.
I really like support her and admire everything that she does. And
And we
definitely-
met in Women in Media, you know what I
We
mean,
did.
which was an organization, you know, created to really support
Shout out to Wim. No part of
yeah, really support a lot of women who were thriving at that time, you know, and I would say we needed that family, we needed that
did.
community
We
to
did.
really just, you know what was out here and not feel like we was alone, you
Right,
know,
right.
and I feel like that put a lot of us in different situations and different spaces where we could grow and collaborate and also just have a sister friend, you know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Speaking of which, do you have networking events often for the Revive situation?
me personally, I haven't done an event since 2020. Reason
That's
being,
when all the networking events stopped. But-
yeah, I was gonna say reason being just capacity. I've been doing something different. And it's crazy because I literally just had a conversation with a colleague of mine, and I was just talking about that. I want to, in this 6th year, I want to hone in on more personal, professional career goals. You know what I mean? So the brand is bigger than me. You feel me? So like,
Absolutely.
I can be the voice, I can be the face, but what's happening to the brand is completely bigger than me. So I love that I'm being contracted for different opportunities on some personal type time, you know, so like POC is like now being the voice of different segments. I'm now, you know, creating different media content for different news publications that are not necessarily mine.
Dope.
So I think that
Congratulations.
that's where I'm going right
That's
now.
where you headed?
Yeah,
Only reason-
just right now, like that's not where I'm headed. No, but like that's
That's
just
where you at.
where my admiration
That's
is.
in your
for.
name and your brand
Yeah.
out there too.
Yeah.
you know, in
And I'm
different
excited
ways and
for it.
platforms.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm
I was only
Congratulations.
asking with the prior conversation
You
about
ain't the syndication. You hear that?
Yeah,
Like, listen, let's
yeah,
go.
the
yes.
prior conversation about the funding and such.
Right.
Sometimes if you could do something that's reasonable to bring the people to you and enforce the +1.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Sometimes there's ways to get where you ain't without going to somebody else's room sometimes.
I'm just ready for funding that doesn't require application.
And that's cool, but that requires conversation.
That's
Yeah.
period.
That requires
That re-
conversation. That's why I
that-
was thinking that
it requires conversation.
What you said about Wilm and things like
It
that.
requires conversation and reciprocation and reciprocity.
Absolutely.
Period.
But the thing is, those things you can't really rush because the reciprocity could come absolutely from the wrong person or the wrong place.
Agreed.
You see what I'm
Agreed.
saying? That's
I like
like
that.
artists looking for management. Like you kind of want it to be organic. You don't really want to run around saying who can manage me.
Are we artists? I don't.
No, I'm just saying.
I have a hard time saying.
I always
artists.
relate things
But I'm
back to-
asking, are we? I know you are. I
I
know
am
that
a
you are
artist.
artists
He's an
because
artist.
I don't
you
know
are.
if-
Yes, no, you're a rapper. Like, I'm just talking about if you put yourself in this seat as a journalist right now, as you're speaking, you're on the mic in this capacity. Would you say that this is an artistry?
I think it's an art. I think some people are more artistic at this than I am.
Okay.
Like y'all for instance. But I think that
Would you consider
it could be
yourself as an
considered
artist?
art.
I think so now. It's funny because
A lot of the similar
when you
things
first
go
asked it, I was
into
going
it.
to say no, and then as you were elaborating, I was like, damn, I guess it is a form of artistry.
It's a form of artistry.
It is.
It's
I have a hard time
some of the
saying it,
things
so
go
just
into
like how
art.
you had a
Yeah.
little difficulty of bringing it out. Like
Yeah.
I have a hard time of saying it because like
But the way we put those words together, I know that shit is art. So.
That's art. But even the whole
or a
format,
question for sure.
the format, the look, everything that goes into the production of what you maintain is your creation. That's art, right?
Okay.
A publication is art. A magazine cover
Correct.
is art. Like your
So I
backdrop
feel
is
like,
art.
and the reason why I specifically asked that question is because I feel like we should be involved in these conversations.
Yeah.
When it comes down to funding, when it comes down to putting money back into the arts, public art spaces, we are that too.
You are. I think
Why
we
are
just have to
people
get you in the
taking
right
us
rooms.
a-
I think we just have to get you in the right rooms.
I think you're a couple conversations short of where you need to be.
Yeah, but I think it's ways that you can definitely benefit, and
I'm not specifically talking about me.
No, you talking about in general, but at the same time, this will be information that you can
But I
share.
think anybody that's personally asking this question needs to be in other rooms.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that it's going to be it's not going to be a general thing that, hey, you have a platform, here goes $20,000. I don't think it's like that. I think you're going to show and prove. You have to be consistent as you always have, as you have been for 6 years. You know, we always talk about consistency, but you speak about that a lot more. But I think that it takes that, but you also have to put yourself in these rooms. It's like somebody to pray for something but don't do the action, right? You got to put that work in. So I think it's really about exposing yourself, networking, and communicating. I think networking is such a cliche and overused word.
Very trendy.
I think
Very
it's
trendy.
Worse than trendy. I think it's just the word.
It comes with a $sign nowadays. People are not willing to have conversations.
So besides networking, I think you need to communicate with people.
Would you pay to network with somebody?
Depending.
It depends.
You would? Mm-hmm. That goes back to that like conversation of $5,000 with Jay-Z or a dinner. I mean, or a dinner with Jay-Z or $500,000. Like, would you pay to network with somebody? Like,
I mean, for knowing what I know,
networking should be.
But see, that's
intangible.
the thing. Would you pay like $500,000 on a scale versus a dinner or a conversation is way different than $250 to be in a room with 500 people that 10 of whom you might need to talk to.
At least 10.
It's just like you ever found yourself saying, I'm gonna stay off the scene, I'm gonna fall back, I'm gonna take care of home, this, that, and third. Okay. And then you went out for somebody's event or birthday or to celebrate, just to support somebody, and you seen 8 people that you needed to run into for exactly what you were sitting home trying to figure out.
I can agree with that, and that's why I think that it shouldn't be cost effective too.
But I think you got to be mindful.
But the cost doesn't always go directly to the person; it goes to the situation a lot of the time.
I think it depends on the event too.
You're buying a plate.
Like, I'm not paying for every event that's a networking event.
Exactly.
Like, you got to be particular about those things.
And a lot of the times with these events, they're $500 plates, and there's I got you. Right. There's a lot of people in there that was got.
So do you feel like consultations? Do you feel like networking consultations should be paid for?
Depending on at what level and for what to what end. Because at the same time, if there's a certain level of information that you're asking for from these people and you're going to use this to benefit financially from in the long term, then there's something that comes with that. There's a value to that.
Damn.
Consultations, all of these things are a real thing. Like, it's a real thing because
different.
But see, it's
not in a good way. I'm not saying in a good way.
Even understanding like this, once you pay me what I want for that information, you don't owe me a percentage of your business. Without that, I might not have a conversation. I'm on these calls with people that tell people, look, we could do this, this, and this, and after that, if this works out, we coming in for 20% of the company. And it's worth it.
So let me ask you this question. Right? Because what we do is so organic, right? And somebody could ask us a question and it come out so vibrational that we wouldn't even understand. Like, damn, we just gave the sauce. Like, we just blah. Like,
my biggest problem, because I drink all the time and I have most of my meetings when I'm drunk.
So we just gave them the sauce.
And I just like being a resource, so I just do it because.
So do you go home and be mad at yourself because you gave them the sauce?
No, because my thing is.
So that should be given regardless. Why are people charging to get sauce?
Because the people that you're talking to, you're organically already talking to. If I have to schedule time and meet with somebody that I wouldn't already be talking to, it comes with something. It's just like the tattoo. No, the tattoo artist cartoon. He did 50 cents on that big piece that used to be on 50 back. He charges so much per hour because he also does lowriders. So for what he's getting paid to tattoo you, his hourly rate could go to doing somebody's car. So you have to pay versus that, whether that's fair or not, because it's his time. But my other example was, I remember years ago, Eric, smoking with Eric and them, and my cousin, and we used to smoke all the time, and people would be smoking with us and kicking it at his crib. And one day he was like, yo, you keep having conversations with people that people pay for, get paid to have. And I was like, now that you mention it, it's true, but the difference is these are people that I would already gave the information to.
Right.
So I don't regret giving it for free.
So I was about to say the same thing. I have a friend that's very, very well off. She's a real estate mogul. Very well off.
I think I know you talking about.
You probably don't.
Okay.
Not her. Somebody
the
else.
other one. All right.
Yeah, the other one. I'm honored because she thinks that I'm like one of the smartest people that she's ever met. And that's an honor to me. And I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that the conversations that I have with her, she literally has a mentor group, and people have to pay to be in this group every 6 months. But her and I can have these conversations. I can ask her questions. She actually asks me questions, and I can rub it off her for nothing. So just to your point of, if I'm not, like, these other people have to pay for her because they don't know her. So if you know these people, again, get in these rooms and building relationships, communicating, not networking, but communicating, because I don't really like the word networking. I feel like I like communicating and building relationships, right?
Exactly.
And genuine relationships. I'm not trying to smile in your face and shake your hand and hug you because of who you are and what you could potentially do, but I'm an energy and vibe type of person. So if we click, we click, and this is what it is.
And sometimes people in these rooms that know and love you that don't know that you're doing this.
But how can you pass it back if you're charging for it though?
I mean, like,
how can you inspire the next generation if they gotta pay to be in a room? How can you inspire the next generation?
Well,
They
if
gotta
you
pay to
want
sit
the
at the table. They
information
gotta
to be free,
pay to be on my calendar. Like, how can I give what someone once gave me if I gotta charge people, and 9 times out of 10, the people that I'm charging are in a low income situation. They don't have it. They didn't have it to begin with. That's why they trying to figure out how to get it.
Understandable, but the person that we're talking about is not necessarily the person in a low income situation. We're talking about you specifically.
As
right?
entrepreneurs, we're in a low income situation.
Somewhat, but you're in a network that gets you access that a lot of people already don't have. You already have an advantage.
That's because of personality, though.
Absolutely,
not
you've
because
earned
of my
it. No,
network.
I'm not saying that that's not something that you've earned. What I'm saying is that's something that you have to utilize, because at the end of the day, you're paying for people's expertise. You're paying for the time that they put in to learn what they learn, and for them to synopsisize it, put it in a situation where it's 30, 15, or hour long of what they learned that pertains to you. They've taken much more time to figure these things out. They took losses to figure these things out. They have a bunch of meetings on the books that pay them thousands of dollars.
I agree
If
with
they
you.
tell you that it's $150 to show up to something where you might enjoy yourself and meet somebody more important than them, it might be worth it to pull up.
I agree on the investment for sure, but I just think that sometimes we overload the compensation. I gotta be paid. I gotta be.
But everything isn't that,
booked
though.
for this and booked for
Everything
that.
isn't that. The thing is getting around people so that you figure out the difference. Because you always got an option, right? If it's 3 events, and in Philly is always 3 events on the same night. You see what I'm saying? You have an option of which one you want to go to. And usually the one that I pick or the one that I prioritize to spend the most time at is based on what I'm going to gain from it, not what it costs.
Or the one that I just had to go to.
And
you still going to 3 events at one night? You got it like that, Sam?
It's my life. It's my
You
life.
still going to 3 events at one
I
night?
might do 2.
But I mean, and you
tired.
see, you gotta even dig it. Like,
I'll be tired.
Exactly.
It don't start at night for me.
Right.
Okay.
There's a video shoot in the evening.
I feel you.
You see what I'm saying? There's something in between that.
I
There's a
feel you.
podcast.
Yeah.
Then I'm lit. And now it's time to go to whatever else. Like, sometimes this is a food for. I bounced around Chester, Southwest, Uptown, back downtown, back to Aramingo. I've done that in a day before. This is one day that I'm thinking of. You know what I'm saying? We just talked about it with Hank when I had to leave his live event. Shout out to Hank. But, like, people show up for me.
That's real.
People show up for me. I know what it takes to try to make a video.
Is that pressure, y'all? Like,
that's one of my biggest pressures. One of the things my friend,
People show
shout
for
out to
you, so you
Maul,
feel like you
Maul
gotta
told me
do-
a long time ago, you can't be at everything, because when I would miss something that I intended to be at, I used to feel bad.
Me too, because guess what? Every time I miss something, I'd be like, damn, I should have been there. Ask him. Every time I'd be like, damn, I wanted to come to that. Damn, I should have been there. Like,
And
so
I be
it's a
talking
lot
her out of it
pressure.
half the time, but I be understanding too.
It's a lot of
Especially
pressure.
when you see the pictures and be like, I needed to fucking run into that person.
I'm hoping that I get
Because
out
if
of-
they
I'm
would have
trying to
seen
shake
me, it would have been no rap. I'd be calling them
Right.
next week.
Right.
I'm trying to get out of that space of saying, like, because like you said, shout out to this beautiful city that we live in. Like, it's something going on every day, all day, and don't let it be a weekend. You feel me? So it's like, we can't be everywhere. We can't do
Right.
everything. So it's like, we got to kind of shake that, and I'm trying to shake that for myself, because, like, if I keep feeling like I'm missing something, then I'm going to keep holding on to something that was never mine in the first place.
Correct.
There's another
What's meant for
balance.
you gonna come to you.
Not
There's
gonna miss
another
me.
balance that's fine too. The more you show up, the less shit you pay to get in. also, when people invite you to things and say, "Yo, I need,"
That
you
was some free advice. And Jim, I hope y'all caught on to that. Do you want to say it again?
no, because if they ain't catch that, they ain't paid for it.
But everything ain't for everybody because the more you show, the more you might have to pay, depending on who you are.
But I'm talking
That
about.
ain't for everybody.
I'm talking about when you. But we coming.
That go back to that corn. What you call it? Corn what?
I don't even know.
But when you come down, when it comes
I
specifically,
forgot what I called it.
and I did say that. I did say that as a.
Yeah.
I did say that as a general statement, but I mean when it comes down to what we offer to situations, the light that we put on people, the support that we give people, the write-ups that y'all can do, the platforms that y'all can provide for people, having you there is valuable at a certain point. You see what I'm saying? But you have to be recognizable.
And you
gotta
do the work.
They gotta know that you're attached to the thing.
It gotta do the work. You
gotta be
can't
there.
just walk in and feel like you gonna get immediate passion with something around your neck.
No.
Like we put time in for those.
I'm sipping with Sammie. I'm expected to buy drinks, take every shot, have conversations like I'm sober. I'm expected to do a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they might throw my song on and pass me a microphone. Like it get crazy for me. Trust me. But I haven't been to too many things because I'm old enough to be wise about what I do go to that I regretted going to.
Yeah.
Even if it was a dull joint, it's like they see me in the building, they know I support it. Next time I ain't got to go.
Right.
I ain't got to go. And then sometimes 3 birds, 1 stone. 3 events tonight. Who going to this joint? Oh, he performing, he hosted. My homegirl, the comedian. I'm going to that one. I done supported 4 people.
Everybody,
Right.
Yeah,
one shot. You know I had to come for you, baby.
Yeah.
But I also feel like because we are the media, you know, it's expected of us to be there, you know. And then when we don't be there, we get that DM or that text like, "Yo, what was you last night? Why you wasn't there? I told you was, you know what I'm saying, you was good at the door." I'm like,
but you know what's about
my rule of thumb is if you be busy, then I can't be mad at you.
Yeah.
If you working, I can't be mad at you.
Philly it's not a small world, it's a small city. And it's like sometimes it's like you run into the same circles, you run into the same things over and over again. It's like,
and that's when you start seeking them other rooms.
So that's my point. You gotta expand. That was what I was leading to, like, cause you gotta expand.
It get crazy. Like I went to this real estate homie birthday party.
Right. Yeah.
I seen quite a few people I ain't seen in forever.
Me too.
You see
that
what I'm saying?
was a good joint though.
6 birds. Didn't even expect it. Was going for 1. 1 was good enough that night, and killed 6 of them and was home in 2 hours.
That's love.
He sure was. 'Cause he left. He left when I was pulling up.
She finally got her drink. I was leaving.
Yes.
I'm like, yup, done my thing. See my face. All was well.
Yeah.
Didn't spill nothing on my outfit. I can wear it again.
But for me, like, and this is just, you know, because of building a brand and being consistent, you know, sometimes it's hard for me just to walk in a room without somebody looking for a mic in my hand. Like, I can't just walk in that space sometimes.
Well, your boundaries.
No, I'm just saying, but some people, like, when they see me, they just automatically expect, yep, to the yep.
Yeah,
I'm like, nah, I'm here to chill. I'm here to get a drink. I'm here to sip with Sammie.
Hold on. Then get you $150. We talk about sponsorship.
That goes back to that
$150.
That goes back to that conversation. You know what I mean? Like somebody
Get
hit me
your
and
chips
say,
with
"Yo, I'm good at the door," and I could take that 2 ways. I'm good at the
Right.
door means I'm coming to chill and just watch the show, or I'm good at the door and make sure you interview me when the show's over.
Your boundaries
I gotta take it how I take it. I personally sometimes gotta ask the question like, "Yo, are you inviting me just to come, or are you inviting me to come do media?" You know what I mean? Because that's the consistency and the brand building.
I used to ask that.
Comes with being Rob POC.
I used to ask that, but you know what? At y'all capacity, doing media has nothing to do with y'all having a camera or a tape recorder or a microphone in y'all hand because y'all write articles and all of that shit.
Yeah,
Right.
but
at the same time, I stopped asking that because if you don't specify, then
But
I'm coming.
Your branding makes me think that you're gonna always be like that.
That's everybody. You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? And my branding is that, nigga, you wanna know you're gonna get wrote about. Okay, give me what you need to get wrote about, and I see you when I see you. If we wasn't already discussing that, but I always got my mic, always got my microphone. Like, if you want to say something, and I will. If I don't, I will pull my phone out in a second too and record on that.
But if I see you multiple times in multiple capacities, then at some point I understand that everything ain't everything, right? You see what I'm saying? But if I only see you in one light, then that's all I know.
But that's what people. What she just said is what people see me as, and it's not a problem. I'm building based on.
Because you probably got interviews that other people didn't get
And
because they know who you are.
So many of them. Yeah, so many of them. But sometimes I want to come just to chill. You know,
Yeah.
and I want to just enjoy the show.
But I also,
it's like a thing.
What do I tell artists? 60% of the time at your level that you're going to perform is going to be times that you don't expect to perform.
Right.
It comes with it. It's going to be because somebody's interested. You celebrating
Do
somebody.
it
You
now.
in the room.
Right.
You said you do this. Do it now.
Sometimes you got to do it. Now, I'm a hand. If the host ain't acting right, I might grab the mic and just take over just because. But please believe I'm shouting out Sipping with Sammie, Tripping with Sammie, the concert series, On the Scene Magazine, Fine Productions. We gonna make this a commercial.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
We gonna make a movie out of this shit. I'm getting all my little jokes off. My yep. I swear I'm doing all of that.
All of it.
So that when you hear it again, you know the
What
bull.
the fuck is going on?
Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet. But at the same time, I'm the same one that hosts festivals.
Yeah.
And that's a check. I'm stage manager at festivals. That's another check. You see what I'm saying? But there's times where my hand master
That's
get up there
cold.
and
Sis
just
like that
shoot
wine.
the commercial.
I like it. Like, I did.
No, I wanted to kill it.
I like
As soon as I
it.
tasted, that's why I shouted it out. As soon as I tasted, I was like, oh,
But
this
there's
is
times
nice.
that I just wanted to shoot the commercial for the brand sometimes.
What is it?
So sometimes
It's like a
you
little
just,
nice rosé, not too many bubbles. That's why I like it. Honestly, it's not like a.
but
You know what I mean?
it's been great having you. And
But can I say something before
absolutely,
we wrap
but we
up?
about to wrap.
I want that same thing. Like, I want to be head sound engineer for festivals one day. Like, I really want to be stage crew.
It's
like,
very doable.
that is
It's very doable.
I can see you doing that too.
live-
I can see you doing it.
It's very doable.
Whew, that's the thing for me. Like, audio
Speaking
engineering.
to existence, you will do it.
audio
It's that
engineering
season
is a
coming
thing.
up.
You heard me say
I don't
it's
wanna-
very doable.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
very
want to,
doable.
but I don't want to be like a producer. Like, I don't want to make tracks or beats or anything. Like, I want to physically create sound for like concerts and jazz festivals and violinists and pianists. Like, I want to do that. Like, that's
All
what
right,
I'm
well,
with.
as long as you ain't got to run right out of here, we can have a conversation. When
Oh
we
yeah,
come.
no, I'm good.
Yep. Oh, you
know
like
what I'm
that?
saying?
You like
Song is
your little
somewhere.
ad lib?
I swear. Nope, where's that?
Yep.
This is Sipping with Sammie.
I'm gonna do it again. Yep.
There you go. I just ran off every button on the joint. But anyway.
I have a little announcement.
I needed you to do that. You knew what time it was. I love you.
Love you too, but while you playing with it, you can try it again before I do my announcement.
Yup.
Yup. Because guess what?
She said, "I know what the hell I did."
On the Scene Notary are now wedding officiants.
Oh.
So we officiate weddings now as well. Yes. So
That's
on top of
what's
all
up.
the other services that we do, like power of attorneys and wills and affidavits and medical directives,
Hold up, wait a minute.
signings and purchases and HELOCs and everything that we do, we also now do wedding officiant services.
Congratulations, bro.
Yes. So,
Heavy.
that's what that is.
Heavy. Proud of you, girl.
So
proud
go
of
to
you,
us
too.
I'm
at
proud of you,
OTS
girl.
Thank you, bro. Go to us, otsnotary.com. We got that.
That's good to know.
No, that's dope. That's dope. OTSnotary.com. That's all
right.
you had?
Well, no, I got a lot more than that, but that was the newest one.
Okay.
So you already know, you can check me out on the Scene Notary. You can check me at onthescenemagazine.com for your latest and greatest positive platform. Everything from entertainment to education, sports, finance, business. Everything is a lifestyle magazine. Check us out. It was such a pleasure to be here with my girl, Revive POC. Sis.
Thank
tell me
you.
what got.
Thank you so much. Yes, make sure you guys check us out at reviveisalive.com. You can follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube on social media at revive_POC. Make sure you donate to help keep us alive. We are an independent media platform thriving because of you. Everything we do is a football effect. You, yes, you. And I appreciate just organic chemistry and conversation. When I hit her up to ask, to be on the podcast, I was like, yo, I really feel like this is a conversation to be amongst, good people and good energy. So I really wanted to do this on this podcast. So I appreciate y'all. Congratulations again on the 200th
Thank you.
episode. That takes a lot of time and energy. So if you really heard, what I was trying to get across today is like really just support the local grassroots media, the YouTuber, the influencer that you are really, really vibing with, and we need to be able to sustain. In order to do that, we need your
Absolutely.
support, your backing, and that comes with a little bit of dollars and fundings and things like that. So just continue to support us in many different ways, like, share, retweet, repost, but also donate at the same time.
That part. And I want to say that I appreciate the conversation. I think that it was necessary to be had. And I think that you're somebody that we haven't been able to have a conversation with. But
Yeah.
a lot of the a lot of the gaps.
Same spaces though, Sammie. I appreciate that for sure.
Absolutely, but a lot of the gaps that need to be filled in is what Font Productions and Font Philly has brought to the game. She tries to make it reasonable. Well, she actually does make it reasonable. I don't know what's reasonable to you, but I know it's reasonable to get the service done.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And she makes sure that your business is situated. She makes sure that you have an understanding of grants and loans and all of those things. She makes sure that you can trademark and get your LLCs right and all of that. But the wealth of information, even the conversation we're going to have when these cameras cut off, is something that we try to get across on this platform, but we have to have the conversation from multiple angles.
Yeah.
And you brought an angle that had a conversation from that proves the relevancy of what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And when I said what we're trying to do, people talk about what words we use, what we're actually doing, but I mean the future of what we plan to provide.
Correct.
And a lot of the times the point that you made earlier about we have to be careful and everything ain't 60-40, 70-30 and this, that, and the third, that's part of why it's not here yet. Because we have to make sure that everybody that's incorporated with it is on the right page and is the right type of people.
Unity does not mean uniformity.
Exactly.
Does not mean uniformity.
And I'm good with that because I understand that nobody's going to move like me.
Correct.
Nobody can be you. We're not
That's
asking you
lesson
to dress
for
like
me.
us, smell like us, talk like us, walk like us, but we're asking you to make the same move that we're making in order to bring forth solutions. You feel me? So.
And show respect and support. But it's a great episode, man.
Give a big hand.
You know what I'm saying?
I actually like that one.
This is Sipping with Sammie. I am Sipping with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together.
Shout out to Philadelphia Cannabis Association. I'm actually on the board of Philadelphia
Get down on the ground.
All right.
It's going to be some recreational cannabis coming soon into the city of Philadelphia. Shout out to Free My Weed Man. We got a lot of different partnerships.
Shout out to Free My Weed Man.
Yep.
Yep, I know them.
Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. One named Triz, Triz had his handful. To be real or more like dragging the anvil. Always took time to give words and shook hands still. No clue what he walked through, but for the standstill. No degree, work daily. A man still couldn't understand if you could work, why would a man still? Triz worked for Troy, and Troy had all the toys. On the com, they said Troy and Tom was diddling boys. But the indictment on the way was fraud. Paper trails and strange emails to get you caught. And how you justify all that shit you bought? And where Triz gon' work with Troy's ass in court? Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles,
Troy
it's
never had
complicated.
to hustle, but he couldn't fly straight. See, he like the villain in the movie, like staring at the ceiling in the movie. He couldn't get the picture, life changed when the car crash killed his sister. He never told his father how he missed her. Got a plug from his uncle bar mitzvah. First car was a Honda, but he wanted the Fisker. Every day he would order lunch, Triz would deliver. One day he asked Triz, you tired of making tips? You ever had your hands on the brick? He said, I know you need cash, while looking at his kicks. With my plan in 25 to Mars, you be rich.
Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. So the bottom line, Triz could be Troy, and Troy could be Triz. Don't judge motherfuckers, just try to figure out what it is. Be safe, keep your credit straight, and know that God is great. And that's from Sam Malone and Dutchie. Philly.